All right, good evening and welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. Just testing to make sure. Co-host, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Marlene.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you. My name is Mrs. Hood. I'm one of the counselors here at Hebron. Before I get started, just a few housekeeping items. Please make sure that you are muted at all times. Turning your video off will help with the connection. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. Counselors are standing by to assist, answer questions. We will have a brief Q&A session at the end of our presentation. However, please feel free to pop your questions in the chat. So the purpose of the meeting this evening is to provide a brief overview of sophomore year and other helpful information to help navigate through this school year. Here is this year's counselors by our alpha split. Using the student's last name, you can find this information on Hebron's webpage. Dr. Robinson, our Collin College and Career Counselor, will also join me in presenting a little later. She is housed full-time on our campus. We are so glad to have her with our team, which is a fairly new position, so we are excited about that she's with us full-time. Dr. Robinson, do you want to say hello so that you are on the screen?
It is so nice to see all of you tonight. I'll be popping in a little bit more with a little bit more explanation about what dual credit means for those of y'all who aren't familiar. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, so the LISD course description guide is available on LISD's webpage and on Hebron's webpage. The guide is an excellent resource for detailed course information by subject. This includes credit information, the GPA multiplier, which I'll explain in just a bit, and a brief description of courses to assist students select their courses. The current graduation plan for all students is the Foundation High School program. The requirements for a student to graduate with an endorsement are 4 years or 4 credits of English, math, and science, 3 credits of social studies. Please note the state only requires 3 years or 3 credits of social studies. Keep in mind, we encourage our students here at Hebron to take 4 credits of social studies, particularly for the multidisciplinary studies endorsement, which is required. I'll talk briefly about the endorsements on the next slide. So then 2 foreign language credits, which is 2 credits of the same foreign language, for example, Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, or French 1 and French 2. So it's 2 consecutive credits of the same foreign language. And then 1 PE credit, which includes athletics, JROTC and marching band, 1 fine arts credit, and that can be in either art, choir, theater, orchestra, dance, or band. And then finally, 7 elective credits. This can be any course of their choice that does not count as a requirement. So that is a total of 26 credits to graduate. And then finally, pass the required STAR EOC exams, and I'll talk just a little bit about that in the next couple slides. Okay, so all students declare an endorsement in middle school in the 8th grade. An endorsement consists of a sequence of courses that are grouped together by interest or occupational skill. The endorsement options allow students flexibility based on individual interests and career goals. So students can choose 1 or more of 5 endorsement areas to include arts and humanities. These courses are related to political science, world languages, cultural studies, English literature, history, and fine arts. Business and industry. This endorsement area includes a wide range of areas such as database management, communications, information technology, accounting, finance, marketing, welding, automotive technology, just a wide area. Multidisciplinary studies. This endorsement allows students to select courses from each of the 5 endorsements. All career pathways identified in all of the 5 cluster areas and endorsement areas which fall into multidisciplinary endorsement area. Public service incorporates careers in human services, law enforcement, and public safety, the military, culinary arts, and education. And finally, STEM may be the right pathway for a student who may be interested in careers such as biochemist, bioengineer, civil engineer, of course, a physician, medical assistant, and forensic science. STAR EOC, end of course exam. So students are required to pass 5 state STAR EOC exams to graduate. Students take English 1, Algebra 1, and Biology in the 9th grade, English 2 in the 10th grade, and then finally U.S. History in the 11th grade. So if students successfully pass all of their STAR EOCs by junior year, their senior year, they will not take a STAR EOC, which most seniors are very, very excited about not having to take a STAR their senior year. The state did waive any STAR EOC exam that a student would have taken in the spring of 2020 due to COVID. However, at this time, the state has resumed testing requirements for graduation. Students need a total of 12 state credits. Local credits does appear on the transcript. However, you want to always look at the state credits. So to be promoted to the 11th grade, students need 12 state credits to be classified as a junior. So important tips to keep in mind of what counts for college. Of course, grades, GPA, and class rank. All of our classes at Hebron are college preparatory courses, meeting the ACT and SAT requirement for the college or university of your child's choice. However, due to COVID, many colleges are moving more to a holistic approach. Dr. Robinson will touch just a little bit on that later on, and as well as a test optional option for students. So we suggest reaching out to the college of your choice admissions counselor in the admissions department for what may be best for your son or daughter. It is always beneficial to take courses, if possible, to prepare for the major and career of choice. Some colleges require admissions essays. We encourage students to ask an English teacher. It doesn't have to be from this year, maybe a previous year, to proof prior to submitting, if at all possible. And then teacher or counselor recommendation letters are required for some colleges and universities. As a rule of thumb, if an item is not required, we suggest not to submit to the college. However, for example, if a recommendation letter is optional, then we do encourage students to submit the recommendation letter. And then finally, a student academic resume is always good to submit, and I'll talk about academic student resumes in a couple slides, and Dr. Robinson will join me on that as well. GPA does matter. Students sometimes wait until their junior or senior year to really focus on their GPA. However, it is definitely best to be serious about their GPA starting in the 9th grade. Keep in mind that the GPA drops much faster than it will rise. So please keep that in mind. For the class of 2024, core classes such as English, math, science, and social studies, foreign language courses, and all AP courses, not just core AP courses, but all AP courses, dual credit, and academic decathlon count toward rank. So please note, Only courses taken in the 9th through the 12th grade count in rank. No middle school courses will count in your child's rank. Summer school, night school, and credit recovery also count toward rank. Please keep that in mind. All classes appear on a student's transcript, including if a student retake a class. Both grades will remain on the transcript. So the grade is never replaced, meaning all grades are calculated into the GPA. The GPA is recalculated at the end of each 9 weeks. So this first 9 weeks will end this Friday, October the 8th. Normally it takes our district up to 2 weeks, sometimes maybe up to 3 weeks. So we'll just say towards the end of October. Class rank will post for the very first time for 10th grade students in January. However, GPA calculates every 9 weeks. So expect the recalculation for this 9 weeks, again, no later than the end of October. Grading and GPA calculation will be normal this year, so the same exact process as prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so the calculation of rank is a 1.1 multiplier for general education courses, which again are college preparatory, a 1.15 multiplier for honors courses, and a 1.2 multiplier for dual credit courses, AP courses, and academic decathlon. Please be sure to check your child's transcript to make sure any middle school credits, any credits from Hebron 9th grade campus, summer school, credits from a previous school, if you're transferring into our district or into the state of Texas, or credit by exam, are posted on the transcript. So if you have questions about credits, please email your child's counselor. Transcripts can be accessed via Skyward. So parents and students can see the exact same transcript that we can here at Hebron. Just one more reminder, middle school credits are credit by exam or acceleration tests are never calculated into the GPA. All high school credits will appear on the transcript. So it's a forever record that we cannot alter. Okay, so Dr. Robinson, our Collin College and Career Counselor, is up next to discuss dual credit and advanced placement information.
Wonderful. Well, I wanted to again introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jessica Robinson, and I do work for Collin, but I actually office full-time out of Hebron. So if any of y'all want to come by, I'm that first office right behind Mrs. Gonzalez's desk. We'll also display my email right at the end, and I'm available anytime you want over email. Okay, so what is dual credit? Dual credit, as many of you are aware, is credit that allows you to enroll in classes at both Collin and Hebron, and you earn credit at both of those institutions at the same time. Who is this available to? Sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We really want y'all to start discussing with your high school counselor during registration in the spring for more details about this opportunity. But we wanted to plant this idea in your head in case this was an opportunity next year during junior and then during senior year, if your student would be interested in that. We will host a meeting at Hebron in the spring for more information. So please just keep your eyes and ears out for an announcement as well. Next slide. All right, so I wanted to just talk about some of the differences between dual credit, what we abbreviate as DC, and advanced placement, abbreviated AP. So with dual credit, like I said, you can earn both high school and college credit by completing courses that are Collin level courses on Hebron's campus. Advanced placement courses are a little bit different. They are college level, and you do take college level exams, but there's a potential to earn credit. Now, those are taught out of Hebron by Hebron teachers, whereas dual credit is taught out of Hebron by official Collin College professors. Credit for dual credit is awarded when the student completes and passes the course. Credit is granted for the AP courses when the student completes and passes that AP exam, which is typically in May. Now, like I said, dual credit classes are taught by college professors who serve as adjunct instructors at Collin. And they have specific eligibility requirements. I won't go into those in too much detail, but if you do have questions about those, you are welcome to email me. AP courses are open to any student who meets AP criteria in the course catalog, and your counselor can discuss with you and your family if that's the best route for you to go down. Next slide. Okay, so how do these courses and these credits actually apply once you get to the college or university side of things? For dual credit, the courses are mostly transferable to any public Texas college or university. Now, it gets a little bit different with private or out-of-state institutions, but we always encourage you to talk to the advisors and admissions counselors at those institutions that would be private or out-of-state if that credit would be granted. They have to give their final approval. For AP, it all depends on how the student scores on that exam, and different colleges and universities have different requirements for what they want to see as those scores on that AP exam. AP exams are scored a 1 to 5 scale, and so whether or not the student needs a 3, 4, or 5 to get credit for that exam is really up to that college or university. Like I said, with dual credit, the student must be a high school credit who meets eligibility requirements. That's typically achieved through passing STAR scores or passing scores on the PSAT test. Again, with AP, that is a great conversation with the counselor to not only determine if you are eligible, but if AP is a good path for the student to take. Students with dual credit are responsible to pay for Collin College tuition and to pay for their textbooks. Now, the big exception to that is students who are on free and or reduced lunch. And again, your counselor or myself can discuss with you what that means and looks like. With advanced placement, the student and family are responsible to pay for the AP exam, but since the course is actually taught by the high school, there is no extra tuition for the AP class itself. All right, next slide.
Okay, so these are just some advantages of students taking an advanced level course and dual credit. Students tend to perform better in college, although this may not be for all students. Courses are a little bit more stimulating and challenging, and students can possibly earn college credit if they take the AP exam scoring 3 or higher. Dr. Robinson?
I think really for dual credit, it's important for the family to sit down and understand how much of a taste of college they want the student to have while they are still in high school. The faculty are Collin College instructors, and we really do believe that this is a Collin College class. So there will be some differences between the way the class is taught because it is a college level class. So I just want you all to sit down and think about whether or not that's an experience that the student should have while they are in high school.
Thank you. So the district's online course program is the Virtual Learning Academy, VLA, which has expanded quite a bit in the last few years. It has exploded. Students are allowed to take an online course during the fall, spring, or summer inside or outside of the school day. So to learn a little bit more about the program and view a list of available courses, please visit vla.lisd.net. And this information can also be located on our webpage. So students in the top 10% of their graduating class are eligible for automatic admission to any public university in the state of Texas except the University of Texas at Austin. The UT announces its automatic admissions percentage each fall by September of the student's junior year. This year, it is 6%, which is the same as last year, 6%. The preliminary scholastic aptitude test, which is the PSAT, is a standardized test that measures reading, writing, and math skills important for college success. The College Board administers the test, which is the same agency that administers the SAT exam. All first-time 10th grade students are automatically registered to take the PSAT test as practice for the SAT at no charge. Which I'll give you the date in just a moment. Students who score high enough on the selection index test will qualify for our PSAT teen class during the fall of their 11th grade year, which is the very first 9 weeks of the school. And there's also a summer component that students will need that required to complete. So why is the PSAT so important? Students, again, are allowed to take the PSAT exam in the 11th grade for a small fee. However, students must register for the PSAT exam in the 11th grade, not the 10th grade, but 11th. So students who take the PSAT in the 11th grade could qualify for scholarship from the National Merit Corporation. Students who take the PSAT exam tend to score higher on the SAT than those who do not take the PSAT. So NCAA, students who are in athletics and plan to play college sports should register for the NCAA in the 10th grade. You can visit NCAA's website or speak to your child's coach. And I did include NCAA Eligibility Center's web page on this slide. Some military information. Due to COVID last year, military recruiters were not able to visit Hebron's campus. However, visits have resumed this school year. Students can also contact the local military branch of their choice for more information if they choose about seeking entry into the military. Counselors have some recruiters' information available upon request. Students can also check out Hebron's Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, our JROTC program. Our instructors for ROTC will be more than happy to meet with them if they are interested. Keep in mind that students are not required to join the military because they have participated in the ROTC program. The program is geared toward academics and military leadership. We do offer the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, known as ASVAB, test to juniors and seniors twice a year, once in the fall and then once in the spring. This test, the ASVAB, helps identify occupational specialties that would be a good match for students, even if a student is not interested in joining the military. Student academic resumes are important to include when applying for college scholarships. We recommend students keep a running list of accomplishments. And here are some suggestions to include in your child's student academic resume. Suggestions are any achievements and awards received in high school. I know an elementary huge project is great. However, narrow it to high school achievements and accomplishments inside and outside of the school day, sports activities, church, clubs, any community or volunteer service, work experience, and any leadership experience. Dr. Robinson?
I just wanted to also make a note here about the holistic review that's starting to come over more and more, especially in light of COVID and some other things that have happened recently. The colleges and universities that we're talking about really, really, really do want to see a great full academic resume, especially with those sports, those clubs, and that community service and those jobs. All of those type of information also go into that college application and help those admissions counselors get a more well-rounded picture of who these students are. I do think that grades and difficult classes are important for students to show that they are academically prepared for their next step. But I also think admissions counselors really hunger to see a real person come off that page and get a story and some other points of interest about that student so that they can make a truly informed decision about whether or not they would like to bring that type of person onto their campus as a member of their student body.
Thank you. The Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership, or HOBY, is a conference held in the summer for 10th grade students only. The program is designed to inspire and develop the community of youth to a life dedicated to leadership, workplace, and community. All 10th grade students are eligible to apply. Only one student will be selected to represent Hebron and then an alternate as well. And this is an opportunity that the student can add to their academic student resume. Applications will be available within the next few weeks. Students can stop by the counseling office or email me or their counselor. So here's just a brief timeline for 10th grade year. The PSAT will be given next Wednesday, October the 13th. This year, please make sure your son or daughter get a good night's rest and eat breakfast the morning of the test. Also, it is not too soon to begin researching colleges, not too early. We recommend you visit a few college websites to learn more about the programs that they offer, admission requirements, and tuition costs. It'd be a great time to eliminate and narrow the list down. Students are allowed 2 days for college visits, college tours in the 11th and the 12th grade. These days are not counted against their absences. We just ask that the student bring a letter back from the college, and the colleges are aware to the attendance department, and those absences will not be counted against the student. So our Choices 360 program is a great resource and tool for students to use for researching colleges and careers. Our students really, really should use this opportunity, this resource more often. Students who are scheduled in an AP course are highly encouraged to sign up for the AP exam, which is administered towards the end of this school year. So here are a few helpful websites to use as you navigate your son or daughter through high school. I'll leave these up for just a moment. And the survey link should have been popped in the chat by now. If you will take just a brief moment at the end to complete our very brief 3-question survey. And also, please note, due to COVID, things can potentially change some of the information provided in this presentation. If you have questions about any of the information presented, please feel free to email your child's counselor. And remember, the presentation, the PowerPoint, will be posted on Hebron's counseling webpage, as well as a recording, just in case you logged in after 6 p.m. We'll get that on the website, hopefully by tomorrow, no later than Wednesday morning. And here's a list of our awesome counseling team. We look forward to working with you this school year. Thank you for taking time out of your busy evening to view our 10th grade presentation. We will stay around for a little bit to answer questions that you may have, but this ends our formal part of our presentation.
Samuel Sierra asked us if dual credit classes are taken at the high school, and he used the amazing abbreviation, thank you. They are taken on the high school campus, but taught by Collin professors. So it's a neat partnership. And then in the summer, the students do have the option of taking classes on Collin's campus as well. And for dual credit, you actually do get the in-county waiver for paying for tuition for Collin classes. Now, once the student graduates, the waiver goes away. But the Collin County rate for dual credit classes stays the same whether or not you live in Denton, Louisville, Collin, or wherever that may be. There is a cost for dual credit classes if the student is not on free or reduced lunch. The students pay tuition just like any other college student would have to be paying, and that's what I mean by dual credit does give you a taste of what it's like to be in college. That's textbooks as well as tuition. Dual credit is first, third, and fourth, depending on what the course is. And we do take students' commitments into account when we do create the master schedule.
So if there are any courses or credits that you do not see on your child's transcript, please just make sure you email your child's counselor specifically what the course is, and they will schedule a time to respond to you after they do their research. Yes, you can schedule an appointment, absolutely. We start registering in the spring in around February for the upcoming school year. And yes, that'll be a great time to talk about next year's courses or even do a 4-year plan of study. The cosmetology program is, Kim, are you on the line still? She may not be.
I'm still here.
Okay.
Cosmetology actually for our students this year starts in the spring of sophomore year. So if a student is interested in joining the cosmetology program, you need to reach out to your counselor right away. I would tomorrow morning sign up on the QR code or send your counselor an email letting them know that you're interested in taking that program, and you can get on the waiting list. I believe there is still a waiting list right now.
There was a question, this is Dr. Fields, one of the counselors. There was one question about letters of recommendation, and you do not need to ask for those just yet. That's something that you would typically ask for maybe at the very end of your junior year or at the beginning of senior year. But it's good for students to take stock of teachers that they feel really connected with. And in particular, if there are, it's not just the teachers that you may have just blown their class away. This is also thinking about teachers who saw you improve over time, or maybe had a really great project that you worked on for them, and saw your learning or saw aspects of your personality. So those are things that can, and you can take any teacher you've had, even from 9th grade all the way through senior year. So that doesn't have to just be senior year teachers.
Dr. Robinson, where do we find the dual credit course catalog? Questions in the chat?
So in the chat, thank you so much for asking that question. Come spring, we will be doing our dual credit presentation and information session. For junior year, we determined that the most applicable courses for that year are English 1 and English 2, and History 1 and History 2. Students take those English 1 and History 1 together in the fall, and then History 2 and English 2 in the spring, paired together. And almost every single college and university requires those 4 classes. So that is what we've determined that juniors would take. Moving forward then in the summer, if you had additional questions, we could work that out one-on-one. But most most juniors will take those 4 classes, and that is 4 out of those 14 core classes that the student could get out of the way at that time.
So extracurricular activities, there is a list on Hebron's website. So if you go to hhs.lisd.net and then go to programs and services, and then click on clubs and organizations, you should receive, there will be an entire list of all of the clubs and organizations that we offer here at Hebron. Welcome.
For the question, oh, sorry, were you going to answer the Spanish question, Ms. Hood?
No, go ahead, Dr. Fields.
Okay. So there was a question about Spanish classes that were taken in middle school. If those were taken in LISD, for example, you'll see those on your child's transcript. Usually you'll see those classes along with the code letter J next to it, which indicates that it was taken in middle school. Those classes do not count into the high school grade point average, but those credits do count towards graduation.
Is the career tab no longer available in Skyward? Ms. Doherty, are you referring to the career plan? While I wait for Ms. Doherty to respond, where's the transcript in Skyward? It is in Family Access under Skyward, and Ms. Klingon just put in there, its transcript is under Portfolio. Okay, so Ms. Doherty, you can find on once the transcript posts are recalculate and repost for this 9 weeks, you'll be able to find all of the current credits on the transcript via Skyward. And then when you see 20, the very last line, it'll say 2022. That's this year's current classes. I hope that answers your question. So the Career Center courses, I don't think anyone has answered this question. So the Career Center courses for next year, the only thing that we can do is once we open selections in February is to, for example, I think we have a window, Dr. Fields, about a window deadline for students to return their registration. Is that correct?
I beg your pardon, for Career Center?
Yes, just for registration for the upcoming school year.
Yeah, we will, students will select their Career Center courses in addition to their other Hebron courses, so in addition to their history and math and so on. So those are things that we will give students an opportunity to explore in the spring when they're doing requests, and they have the same timeline. So usually we don't have the dates specified yet, but those are usually within about a week or two where students will have an opportunity to think about things, ask questions, and then make selections. And we'll post all of that. We'll probably lay out the timeline before even winter break starts so people have an idea of what they need to do.
And the second part of your question, unfortunately, we would not be able to guarantee a Career Center slot, such as the health science medical courses. However, we go kind of in rank because if a senior is their first time, of course, they would get precedence over juniors and sophomores. Hopefully, we have enough spots. With Career Center courses, we share spots with all of the high schools in the district. So there's nothing that we can do at this moment. However, what I recommend is as soon as the registration comes out is to return the registration as soon as possible and not wait until the deadline or past the deadline. I hope that answers your question. great. So someone is asking about academic decathlon. So academic decathlon provides this very intensive, exciting, demanding, and rewarding educational experience that culminates with competition in area, state, and national competitions. It's higher level and critical thinking skills, creative and productive thinking, and independent and guided research, which are all used in preparation for the competition that's experienced through the academic decathlon program. Mrs. Donna Friend is our teacher, and Dr. Fields, our lead counselor, just popped the course description guide for academic decathlon in the chat as well. So hopefully that answers your question. There is no registration required. I think someone, Ms. Renee, answered. There's no registration required for 10th grade PSAT. However, don't forget that 11th grade PSAT, there is a registration process and a small fee. Okay, so we are going to wrap it up. In case we did not answer a question, burning question that you had, please feel free to email your counselor. If you have dual credit questions, please email Dr. Robinson. You can find all of our email addresses online. If you missed something in the presentation, you didn't quite hear or understand, you can see the recording again on our website, as well as the slides and the presentation. We thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Have a good evening, and we look forward to working with you this school year. You're very welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.